Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. It's me, Muhammad Zubair Khan, and this is the seventh week of our study. Today we have Mathematics 2 for BBA students. So, the previous topic that we have studied that was continuity. After the definitions of functions, limits, and then we have discussed the continuity, that how we can find out that the function is continuous or discontinuous at any given points. After that, our today's topic is derivatives. In Dari it's called mushtaq. So how we can calculate the derivatives of different functions. But first you need to understand that what is meant by derivatives. Derivatives basically representing the change in a function with respect to the independent variable, because if you see we have a function having two types of variable. One is called dependent variable, another is called independent variable. So we are representing the function by f of x or by y. So if you see, we needs to find out the derivative of the functions. For that purpose we have to understand the definition of the derivative first. What is derivatives? So derivatives of a function f of x with respect to x is the functions f dash of x, and defined as f dash of x equal to limit h tends to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h, where h is not equal to 0. So this is the formula, as well as this is basically called the definition method of the calculating of derivatives or to differentiate the function. In other words, derivatives is the change in a function, in the function f of x or y. As I mentioned that we can represent a function by f of x, we can also represent a function by y. So derivatives basically is the change in a function f of x or y with respect to change in the independent variable. Means change in dependent variable with respect to change in independent variable. In other words, you can say that change in a function with respect to change in the independent variable which is including in the function. So that is basically called what? Derivatives. We can denote the function if we are representing function by f of x, so we can represent the derivative of the function by f dash of x. If we are representing the function by y, so we can represent the derivative of that function by dy by dx. dy by dx. Yani derivative of y with respect to derivative of x. Yani change in y with respect to change in x. So initially we needs to learn that how to use the definition method. This is basically called what? The definition method. By this method, how we can find out the derivative of the function. If f of x is given as a function, then f dash of x will become like this. By applying this formula, we can find out the derivative of the functions. We will solve few examples related to the function. We will solve, or we will find out the derivative of different functions by using this method. Beside this, we have different rules to follow. So in the next video we will try to explain those particular rules also, but first you need to understand that how we can find out the derivative of the function by using this particular method. This is basically called what? Definition method. To differentiate the function by using definition method. कि मुश्ता कि एक function ची रकम मालूम निशा, but if we use the definition method, okay? So by using the definition method, I will try to find out the derivative of the function. Let me explain it through an example. For example, if we have an example like differentiate differentiate the following function. Suppose if we have a function is given f of x equal to 5x plus 7. F of x equal to 5x plus 7. Now this is the given function. What we have to do first, we will try to, according to this particular equation or this particular definition or this particular formula, we will arrange it. F of x is given, f of x equal to 5x plus 7. So here we have f of x, so we will put this value here instead of f of x. But we need f of x plus h. So we have to make some changes. If we increase, then f of x plus h equal to x plus h equal to 5 into x plus h and plus 7. We will replace x by x plus h. It means that we are doing a kind of increasement in the independent variable. So after finding f of x plus h and we have f of x, put these values in the formula. Is f dash of x is equal to limit, you have studied limit, h approaches 0, f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. Now we will replace the value. Limit h tends to 0, f of x plus h, so we have the value of f of x plus h. We can simplify it. 5 multiplied by x, 5x, and 5 multiplied by h, so 5h, and plus 7. So we will replace this value by this 5x plus 5h and plus 7 minus the value of f of x. F of x equal to what? 5x plus 7 and divided by h. Now what you have to do, first do simplification, then at the end you will apply the limit, because we need to avoid ourselves by 0 over 0 form, by infinity over infinity form. These two forms, if you have in the limit, if you have these two forms as a conclusion, as a result, so that will not be acceptable. That's why you have to avoid yourself in calculation by these two forms, 0 over 0 or infinity over infinity. That's why we have to do simplification first. 5x plus 5h plus 7 minus multiplied by plus minus 5x minus multiplied by plus minus 7 and divided by h. Now you will search out that if we have a chance of cancellation, so we will do 5x cancel with minus 5x, plus 7 cancel with minus 7. Now what is remaining? If you see, we have limit h tends to 0 and we have 5h and it will become 5x will cancel with 5x. How much is remaining? 5h and minus 7. Let me check it again. X plus h and plus 7. So 5x plus 5h plus 7. And in the given functions we have 5x plus 7. So when we replace these two values by these two, so what we have 5x plus 5h plus 7 instead of this one minus. Instead of f of x we have 5x plus 7 and divided by h. So 5h we have remaining and divided by h. Now we will do simplification. These two will cancel. H cancel with h. So what will, if we apply the limit instead of h, but we don't have h, it will become 5. So only 5 will be the value of f dash of x. F dash of x you will have the derivative of the function is equal to 5. I will solve another example by using this method in the next video also. Thank you very much, and you should try on these questions. Allah Hafiz.